Welcome to the Longest Turn Board Gaming Podcast. This is episode 37, Burn Baby Burn. My name is Tyler.
Hello, this is Kevin.
This is Tyson.
In this episode, we're going to talk about the games that we've been playing lately. We're going to do a look back at a couple of games that we reviewed over a year ago, and we'll be doing a draft.
Oh, yeah.
These are some of my favorite episodes. Kevin was just saying this as well.
Right.
I love our drafts when we get to have a topic and then basically build off of that and choose.
As long as you guys don't pick my games, I think I'm cool with that. Yeah.
There's a certain tension. Like
there is a tension.
Every time I do one of these, I'm like, I don't think you guys are going to pick the ones that I want.
Yeah,
but if you do, I don't like that.
I feel pretty confident.
I'm a little bit tempted. I'm not going to lie.
You're tempted into what? Pick one of my games? How do you don't know my games?
Well, I mean, take guesses at them.
Well, right.
Right?
Yeah.
But then it's a wasted...
Then they're not picking your own games.
Right.
Yeah.
But we
You're
play
hate drafting is what you're doing.
But we play so many similar games that there is a chance, right, that we're going to pick the same game. So I don't know. It'll be fun. I'm excited to see what you guys choose.
So, Tyson, do you want to introduce what the draft is?
Yeah, so this is Burn Baby Burn is the episode title, right? But the idea behind this draft is we have all had a cataclysmic fire that has basically burned down our
Entire
homes,
neighborhood,
our
right?
entire neighborhood.
Yeah.
This actually happened near us, and so we don't want to necessarily make light of that experience, but it kind of got the juices flowing in some ways, thinking that what would happen if you had something where you lose all your possessions. Obviously, board games are not the most important thing here, but
it would still be really sad.
It would be sad to lose everything that we've collected, and after that, where would you start to kind of rebuild your collection? How would you start that?
What are the 5 games that you would start to rebuild your collection? And not only that, with a limited amount of funds.
Yeah,
right?
unfortunately, we were all underinsured on our houses, and it's going to cost more to build them back. So we have limited funds of $200 to start our collection of 5 games.
Some games I've bought that blow past that budget.
Yeah, one game alone,
right? So
Should we just jump into the draft right now and mix it up a little bit?
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it.
Should we?
Why not?
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's jump right into the draft.
I'll go first.
No. Okay, now I see what you're doing. All right, we gotta get some kind of random.
There's some dice right there.
Dice. All right.
Highest score.
Oh, we're gonna
Best of 3 goes first.
highest score. Best
No,
of.
I'm just kidding.
What is happening?
Highest goes first.
Highest goes
That's all we
first.
do.
Yeah,
right?
And it's going to be snake draft. So you go first, then whoever's in the middle, right? And then the last person will go twice, and then back to the person in the middle, back to the person first. So we're snaking. So
That's what snake draft means. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
you know what? Some people out there have not played fantasy football. Tyson was looking at me confused. He hasn't
That's
played
true.
fantasy
Well,
football.
he has that look.
I designed a game. I helped publish a game that has snake draft in it, right?
I don't remember.
And to be fair,
That's
Tyson.
right, you don't know what.
You know
games
what,
I have.
Tyson? Take your cantankerous attitude and let's just roll.
Tyson looks confused a lot, though.
Fair enough.
To be fair.
Well, it's whenever you're saying
it's
anything.
when
that's for sure.
anytime I'm leading into something, he's like, "Where is he going with this?" All right, here we go. Here we go. You guys roll first.
No, same time.
Same
Okay.
time.
All right, on the table.
Okay. Oh no.
9.
8.
41. 5.
Okay, so I'm first. Tyson, and then Kevin.
Let's see where this goes, Tyler.
So with my first pick, hold on one second. I got to pull up the page. I wasn't ready for
let's
this.
put the caveat on here that we weren't looking at MSRP costs necessarily.
We're looking at what we could get these games for today, whether that's secondhand on eBay or BGG or
Wherever you could
Miniature
find
Market,
basically
or
wherever
Amazon, or
Yes.
wherever you can find it.
All right. So my first game I found for the hefty price of $87.99.
Okay.
And it is
Not my game, unless you've had a really good price on it.
an amazing game that I'm going to talk about later in this episode. Cthulhu Death May Die, baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so I'm taking almost half my money. This game just creates such amazing experiences, even with just the base game and the base Cthulhu, Elder God.
There's a ton of replayability just in the base game.
Yes.
Yep.
Characters, episodes. It's very rare that I play this game and just do not have an amazing time. It, in fact, never happens. So that's my first pick. Cthulhu Death May Die, $87.99. Available still at Game Nerds.
Nice.
Link available in the show notes. Was anybody else going to pick that?
I did not.
I did not.
Ooh, so I thought for sure Kevin would pick that.
No, I've got some reasoning behind why I wouldn't have picked that one. Although I would sorely miss that game in my collection until I was able to replace it, obviously. And I'm glad you would have it because then I could still play.
Exactly.
Ooh,
now
awesome.
it's
Perfect. Yeah.
As long as we all have different ones, we're ending up.
Can I ask
better
why
shape.
you didn't consider it more? Or?
So
Since we're talking about it right
my
now.
thought for some of my games was games that I have not played as much that I want to explore more.
Oh, okay.
And that was that. We'll talk about my first game as long as you don't take it, Tyson.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I will. But my line of reasoning was kind of similar. I looked through my entire collection and I thought, what of these games could I not live without? And I realized very quickly there's not a lot of my games that I feel like I couldn't live without. Like I realized
You're rethinking your collection as a whole.
No, not exactly that. Just that.
You're like, man, all the games I own suck.
That's why they don't get played. Is it?
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I thought that, well, one, you guys have a lot of these games, and a lot of the ones that I would want to play are the games that you guys would probably want too. But what are the games that I don't think you guys would pick if this type of thing happened, and where would I miss out? So the first game that I want to draft is a game that this was for the longest time a grail game for me, like a game where I couldn't find it, but I really wanted it. And so I was searching and searching. I finally got a hold of this one. So I do own this one, but not all of the games on this draft are games necessarily that I have owned or have ever owned, but games. So I try to categorize my games as like certain things of who would I get these ones played with. So this first one is like the hobby game, the one game that is like the big blinged out collector's edition kind of a thing. I found this one for a hefty price of $125.
Oh my gosh.
So I went because I wanted
Are
something.
you buying a deck of cards with your remaining money?
I think it'll all become very clear to you guys as we go on how this becomes possible. But I chose $125, and this came from Noble Knight Games or nobleknight.com, who had this collector's edition available.
So what is this game? Dang it.
Tricarion.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So this is a grail game for me because I love the aesthetic of this game. It's Mind Clash. I love Mind Clash. It's beautiful. I haven't played it enough. That was part of it, is that I want to play this game a lot more and would love to get it. If all my collection got destroyed and I only had 5 games to play, I'm sure this game would get a lot more play out of it. But to get that whole experience and everything it does, I had to go with a $125 copy of
blowing the
Tricarion.
budget on one game.
Yeah.
That's pretty, that's good.
$75 left to go.
I'll gladly play that game.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Okay. My game was not chosen. I thought there was a very slim chance that it would be chosen. This game, I have played it twice. It's from Board and Dice. That should narrow it down a little bit, right?
I know what it is.
It starts with a T.
Surprise.
If that narrows it down anymore. I found this game on the Geek Marketplace for $20.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is awesome.
How much is that person charging in shipping?
I am estimating a shipping cost of $13.28 for a total of $33.28. And that is Tekenu.
Nice.
I've played this game twice. There is so much more to explore in this one. It's a little bit of a heavier game. I love the dice mechanic where you're flipping the obelisk and there different dice are available to do different things. The cards. It's just an awesome game. It's one that I haven't played a whole lot. There's a lot more for me to explore in it. Plus, scream and deal, right? It's not blowing the budget.
That's a good price for
It's a heavier strategy game, something I can play with you guys. I know, Tyler, you love it.
I love this game. I'm so happy you are purchasing this.
Right. So it's not going to be hard to get played, right? So that's my number one pick. Not blowing the budget with this one. Awesome. Only $33.28. Yeah. Estimated shipping, of course.
I like your bargain hunting skills.
Yeah, seriously.
Is this a used copy?
It is a used copy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's still.
It's not. It's a used copy. I actually looked for to let them first.
I did as well,
and I'm like $60, and it's out of stock most places. Yep. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find Tekenu either, but I did find it on the geek market. So, going with that one.
Nice. I love it. I am excited to play your copy of Tekenu.
Nice. Hey, look, it's back to me.
Look
right?
At that.
Yep.
All right. So if I'm replacing my collection, I want kind of a lighter weight filler as well. And something I can play with my family, something I know that my family likes, and also in the same vein of not having played it completely, right? And this game is Welcome to the Moon. Dang it. This one is $35.99. Let's see, where did I find that out? That's just on Game Nerds. Yep. That is Game Nerds as well. So the reason why I picked this one, I've played through, I think, the first 3, boards. There's 8 total boards to explore. Plus you can play this game in a campaign. Every game you play is drastically different.
Yes.
So it's basically like you're getting 8 games in one with the option to play as a campaign. Awesome. Every time I play this game, I've loved it. I've played it with my 16-year-old daughter. She loves it. If I can get her to play a game that she loves, that's a big win in my book. It's just an awesome game. We've talked about this one before.
That's
it's
a
great.
Fantastic choice for this sheer reason that you really are getting like 8 games in one. And they're all games that of what I've played so far are just really exciting and fun and different enough, but like
brain burny.
It's good stuff. And
it's up there as the 1 or 2 top roll and writes ever.
Yep. I completely agree. So that brings my running total, in case you're following along, to $69.27.
So in an auction fantasy draft, are you the one that hangs on to the money until the end? Because you're doing a little bit of that right now. Sounds like.
I have actually never done an auction fantasy draft. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if I hung on to my money a little bit on that one. Yeah.
I, on the other hand, blow it right up front.
$125.
My next is a lot less because it has to be at this point to go for 4 more games. $27.99 is what I'm paying. And this is a game that I owned before, but I don't currently have in my collection. And I got this one for my family weight game. This is a game that I'll be able to play with my kids at some point, and my wife enjoys this as well. It's Betrayal at House on the Hill. This is the new version, in fact, so it's not even one of the older versions. It's the newest, updated version of it. And I like this game a lot. I've talked about this game before, but I really enjoy this game as an introductory game, similar to like Welcome to the Moon, because there's so many different scenarios in this. You're getting a different experience every time you're playing it.
Highly replayable.
Different mechanics in there, highly replayable. I'd be able to get a lot out of this game, and for the low cost of $27.99, I thought that was a perfect kind of family weight gateway style game that I could introduce to other people, as opposed to Tricarion, which is very not accessible to the entry level gamer. So.
Lengthy rules explanation for that one.
So I figured I needed something like that to kind of balance out my collection.
Nice. I like it. That's a good one. It's been a long time since I played Betrayal. You just played Betrayal Legacy, right?
I did a year or 2 ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite one was Betrayal at Baldur's Gate.
You've said that before.
Yeah,
and
just because of the theme.
That.
I think I like that a little bit more in the D&D world. So
nice.
But they're all great games.
Absolutely.
I
Good
like
choice.
that pick. Yeah.
Good choice.
What's your total at, Tyson?
Oh, my total right now is I'm sitting at $152.99.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And 3 games to go.
And 3 games to go.
And 3 card games to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So my next game, this is another one just like Cthulhu Death May Die that I can play with my family, and it's cooperative. And it must be like a knockoff copy of it because I found it at an amazing price for $25.80 on Amazon.
Is this a counterfeit copy?
No.
It better not be.
It's not. No,
Okay.
it's from the official store on
good.
Amazon for this company.
Very nice, very nice.
It is Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. It is 48% off on Amazon right now. So you can get that for $25.80. I've got this on my shelf of shame. I've played Gloomhaven with my family. We had another kid and then we haven't gotten back to it yet. I would love to have Jaws of the Lion in my collection to jumpstart our collection. Just one, because it's an amazing price for an amazing game by all accounts, right? And we know Gloomhaven's amazing, and Jaws of the Lion teaches you how to play Gloomhaven the first 5 or so. But I want to play through the rest of that campaign, and 25 scenarios that should keep me busy until
for a while,
until I get some more cash flowing.
For sure.
Guess. So that is my number 2 pick. Jaws of the Lion. So that brings my total to $113.79.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's going to pick this game, but because I want it in my collection for sure, I'm going to go with the best deck builder out there.
Dominion!
Dune Imperium.
Oh, God.
So I found this for $39.99 at Card House Games. Absolutely love this game, even without both of the expansions.
It'll pain you, though, to not have the expansions, right?
It will. It would definitely be missing something, but just having the base game is enough for me.
Nice.
I get tons of plays of this with my son Logan, and this has to be in my collection. So that was $39.99. I am up to a total of $153.78 with 2 games to go.
Hey, I'm at the same price almost.
With 3 games.
Yeah. All right. So I got Death May Die, Jaws of the Lion, Dune Imperium. Boom.
That's a good price for Dune Imperium too. Like,
yeah, I was excited to see that. So.
Yeah.
Nice. I
That's
like
a
it.
good collection right there.
I mean, Dune Imperium, I may have chosen another one. Lost Ruins of Barnack.
Oh, well.
Probably. But maybe couldn't have found as good a deal.
So I'm interested to see which deck builder you're going with in your collection.
If I go with the deck builder, you never know.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well,
right.
there's a deck builder in the group now, so I would play Dune Imperium. So
there's not a lot of deck builders at the $10 level, so I couldn't really go with a deck builder in this instance
because you selected Tricarion for your first game.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
But hey, my next game though is a game I think that we all have played and enjoyed, and I like bluffing. I like making fun of others, and I worry that this might be on Tyler's list potentially. So I wanted to get it out of the way quickly. I chose Spicy.
Okay.
It was not.
$18.84.
Ooh.
Okay.
From Amazon. So Spicy is, I thought, a good addition to this for me because it plays up to 6 players. So I don't have any games currently that play higher than 4. So this adds a 6-player kind of option for those times when I have more people around the table than I can accommodate with Tricarion or Betrayal. And so I wanted to get this, and it's a quick play. It has a lot of interesting decisions. I really enjoy the experience it creates, and it can be played with anybody. So that's why I decided I don't own a copy of this game right now. because it is in the group, and I would be sad to see that it gets burned out of our collections collectively. So I wanted to put it in some capacity.
Nice. What's your total at now?
So right now I'm at $171.43.
Whoa.
Okay, you're getting close.
Yeah.
You're getting close.
You're going left, center, right next, or
I think you're spot on with the deck of cards. Yeah. You can get one of those for a few bucks. You can play all kinds of games with that. All right. I guess that's me. Huh? There's not a chance you guys pick this game. If somebody picked this game, then I don't know. I'll eat my shoe or something.
is it the one that Ben owns? That was, what was that? Haberdasher or whatever.
Oh yeah,
the mugging one, right?
yeah.
Hugger
no,
Mugger.
It's Hugger Mugger. Yeah. No. And my number 3 is Hugger Mugger. No. This is I love. Well, I needed a game that I could play with my 5-year-old. Right, play with the younger kids. We love Haba games. We have a ton of Haba games at my house, and we have a ton of a specific type of Haba game. All their stacking games. The one that I would need to immediately start my Haba collection again, and I would start with a game called Unicorn Glitter Luck.
I knew that was what it was.
You knew that?
I talked about this before, your 5-year-old, and it was a stacking game.
How do you play this game?
So it's like, so if you've played anything like Animal Upon Animal, you've played that. It's very similar, except for this is a cooperative version of a stacking game, which is perfect for a 5-year-old, right? Yeah. So the way it works is you have this castle, you have a bunch of unicorns, and you're trying to stack these unicorns on the castle. There's clouds that are laid out, clouds and crystals and unicorn pieces, like little tiles that are laid out around this castle, and you roll a die. And there's this little unicorn named Rosalie. She moves around, and wherever you land, you either have to stack a large white cloud, a small blue cloud, a unicorn, or place a crystal next to the castle. You're trying to get all of the crystal spaces filled up next to the castle, and then all of the unicorns stacked on top of the castle. So crystals around the castle, unicorns on the castle. If you do that collectively as a group, then you win. Anytime something falls off, you have to flip over a tile. If there is a thunderstorm on the tile, that's bad. If you get 3 thunderstorms, you lose. So super simple, fun stacking game. I think I would start with that one if I'm rebuilding my collection. We have a little bit of a problem with Haba games. As far as the stacking one, I've got Animal Upon Animal. I've got Animal Upon Animal Small Yet Great, which is a really small version of it. I've got Tier Off Tier, which is Here We Turn. So you're turning the board as you're stacking it, which is kind of crazy. I've got my first Animal Upon Animal, which is huge, chunky pieces that I could play with my youngest. Animal Upon Animal Unicorns. And then to round it off, we have Animal Upon Animal Christmas Edition. All of those. And there's more that we haven't collected, but
so
love
if you
those
lost
games.
your collection, at least 5% of it is Animal Upon Animal. It's only natural that you're going to get something back.
Yeah, so I've got to start again. So that's my number 3. This one, $24.99.
Whoa.
And I think this is
it's a little steep.
That is.
Well, Amazon. It wasn't even on Miniature Market. Get it on Amazon for that. Maybe I could have found it a little bit cheaper, but I'm still keeping it, I'm under $100 total so far. My running total is $94.26.
You do realize that's like almost 100 less than me.
Yeah, I do. Okay, that leads me to my number 4. I needed a party game, right? I wanted a less expensive party game that I could play with my family, something that I know they like, something that is portable, that I can take places easily. Lighthearted fun, something that everybody's just laughing. I chose What the Heck for my party.
Yeah.
This comes in at a whopping $5.77.
Where do you find it at that price?
Game Nerds.
Nice.
Game Nerds, $5.77.
I feel like I need to just go buy that now. I don't have What the Heck.
You should get Have you played it, right?
I've played it.
We played it, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love this game. I love trying to outthink people. I love winning high value cards with a 1 or a 2, which has happened multiple times when I've played this game. If you don't know how to play the game, it's you have a number cards from -5 to +10. Those are the scoring cards. And then everybody has cards in their hand from 1 to, I believe, 15. You flip over a scoring card. Everybody then selects a card from their hand, flips it over. Whoever has the highest value gets that card. If it's a positive card, whoever has the highest value, the lowest value, if it's a negative card, gets the card, right? If there's a tie, then it goes to the next person. So there's a chance if there's a high card, everybody else ties, you play a load card, you get that scoring card. So it's just super fun. Crazy things happen in the game. It's just a lot of lighthearted fun. So for the cheap price of $5.77, I thought that was a pretty good bargain to get a nice party style game in my collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you have to have a high-priced one similar to me. You just decided to play yours a little bit differently.
My running total, $100.03.
Oh my God.
With one game to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you saw that he
And you
spent
guys have
$86 up front and I spent $125, you didn't have to worry too much.
So I feel pretty safe that you guys haven't chosen my last game since you've spent considerably more at this point.
I decided to go deep into debt after this fire and just buy a really big board game for my last two. So broke the rules. No. If you've listened to this podcast at all, it should come as no surprise to you that on my list is going to be a Button Shy game.
Shocker.
Button Shy is a very low price game for a lot of game in a little package, I think. So I had to put a Button Shy game in on this. The one I chose is Sprawlopolis. Sprawlopolis is an 18-card game. It's $12. What you're doing is building out a city, and each card has on one side a gridded pattern that you're trying to place down on the table, and then other cards will layer on top of it to build routes, and like you can do residential districts and business industrial districts and things like that you're trying to build. And each card on the other side has a scoring objective. There is a ton of variability in this game for such a simple package because every time you play, you're going to play with 3 objectives. So you're going to take 3 cards out of that deck, flip them to the opposite side, and you'll have 3 special scoring conditions that tell you, hey, you're going to try and get residential districts next to the parks or something like that in this game. So there's a lot of different things you can do in the game. So there's a lot with this little package, and at $12, I thought, I couldn't pass that up. That's a really easy, simple one, and so I chose Sprawlopolis.
Nice. What's your running total now, Tyson?
My running total.
Or how much do you have left, I guess, is a better question.
Well, so I have total spent $183.43.
Okay.
$16.57.
So I got $16.57 left.
All right. I'm interested to see what your last pick is.
Another Button Shy.
We'll hear about it in a minute.
Shortly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just have to have this game in my collection. It is why I'm a gamer. It is Acquire. I grew up playing this game. There's a new version of it coming out. It's pre-order right now, $34.97 from Game Nerds.
So the new version, you're not going to track down the old one?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'll probably inherit a couple from my
Or find
parents.
it in Goodwill or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right.
But, But I'm excited. I am getting the new version. So
Nice.
Regardless. So yeah, I put this on here. I almost didn't because I was like, who's going to play this with me?
And you've played it so much, right?
Right. But I love it. And
Okay. Yeah.
And, I was talking to my wife and she's like, if your board game collection burned down, I would take pity on you and I'd play a few games of Acquire with you.
At least you got 2 games in or something.
I don't know if that was an endorsement, actually. That
Well,
sounds like
okay. So
the only time she's going to play your Acquire with you is if your whole collection burns
And
down.
I'm not going to play. So
yeah.
I'll play with you. I've played with you.
So you have. So yeah, my wife will play this game with me on Father's Day and my birthday. And that is part of my present, I guess. That is the only time Acquire gets played where she's involved with it. I get to play it with my family from time to time. Some parts of my family hate it. Some love it. I love this game. It's why I'm a board gamer. So that is Acquire, $34.97. That leaves me with, let's see, I've spent $188.75. So I've got $11.25 left.
You got less than me.
I do.
Time to buy some card sleeves.
Oh, I can't afford Tyson's card sleeves. Eschaton sleeves.
You can get some Sleeve Kings, though. Yeah, you got to protect these games.
So you were talking about what game you would play with your youngest, right?
Yep.
That triggered like, I got to get something to play with Caden.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not Seekaboo, which is on this table for some reason. I was like, when Logan was a kid, we played Kinder Bunnies with him all the time. The kids' version of Killer Bunnies, right? I looked that up. It's not available anywhere. It's been out of print for probably a decade. On eBay, it's $310. So that's out of my...
$310.
Yes. There's one listing on eBay for $310.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can't get that, but I did find something that I think Caden could eventually start to pick up, my youngest. Llama the Card Game. $7.07
Nice.
from Game Nerds.
Okay.
Very simple hand management.
It's got two
increasing
choices.
numbers. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
But creates some funny and hilarious moments.
Yep.
Most of my games other than Acquire I guess 3 of my games other than Dune Imperium and Acquire are about playing with my family.
It amazes me how fun Llama, or I think it's like Don't Llama.
Yeah, Don't Llama the
whatever
card
it is
game.
now, right? It amazes me how much fun I have with that game. Like the first time we've talked about this before, but the first time I played it, I'm like, this is just dumb. There are no decisions in this game.
It's like a worse version of Uno.
Yeah, this game is playing itself basically. I have no decisions, but there are decisions, and you see them as the more you play it, and it just makes for some fun experiences. I'll always go back to Cabin Con when we were playing with Ben.
Yes,
and we played I think 3 rounds in a row. We were laughing like you guys were chilling in the hot tub.
It was one of the most raucous, and exciting.
We were so
parts of Cabin Con.
Don't Llama was exciting, right? And we were just yucking it up. It was good times. So yeah, good choice.
It's such a fun game. It really is.
Yeah.
And there is more to it, but yeah, it's a great game, and that's something my youngest could pick up pretty easily.
Absolutely.
Next year or so. So,
and maybe when you get some more, funds coming in, you can get the Llama dice.
Ooh,
step it up a bit.
I don't know.
You don't like that one?
I think I'm a pass on that one. Did you like it?
I like it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's good.
All right, Tyson, what's your final game?
So
you got how much money?
Well, what was
13?
your total? Did you say your total?
I did not say my
that's
total.
right.
So I spent a total of $195.82.
Nice.
I'm gonna,
under budget.
Yes.
Well done.
Put that $4.18 under my pillow in the hotel and save it for a rainy day.
yeah.
Nice. I like it.
So I went back and forth. I did, absolutely, Kevin. I won't deny. I looked at Button Shy games and thought, oh, what other Button Shy games could I get? And there's plenty. I could absolutely add another Button Shy game to
Yeah,
this
you've got
collection.
a whole, you showed it to me last time I was at your house.
I got like 20. So when you were saying, I was saying you got like
and you
5%.
can hold them into your hand easily.
Yeah.
All of them.
Animal upon animal, you've got a ton of those.
Yeah.
I got a ton of Button Shy games. So I've
Nice.
got a plenty to choose from. But Sprawlopolis was definitely one because I can play that one solo, and I can play that with like up to 4 people, and it's a good game for all of that. So I feel like that fit that niche. What I went back and forth on with this one was I almost picked Codenames. I found Codenames for $12.29.
Ooh, okay. Bargain.
From Target. And I thought, hey, that would be really good.
Good
'cause
party game.
It's a good party game. You can play it with a lot of people. But at the end of the day, I had to go with one that is more social deduction-y, right? Like, I love a good social deduction game.
You do.
And so one that I could get that was cheap was Coup. Coup the card game.
Okay.
Which is available at $13.99, also from Target. So I went, and because I don't need shipping on this one either, I can go pick it up at a local Target. That it's fine. So I went with Coup the card game. I love social deduction. I love kind of that deception. Yeah, I know I got some of that from Spicy and the bluffing, but it's really more of a bluffing game than a social deduction. This one has a little bit more read the table, read the room kind of a vibe to it, and I like it, and it's simple enough that it will get anybody to play it, and it plays up to 6 players. So I had to go with Coup.
I thought you were going to go with Cockroach Poker, but...
No, because Spicy fits that same vibe as Cockroach Poker. I did think about Cockroach Poker, but I wanted some difference to my collection. Like I wanted like each game to have a different kind of vibe to it, which is also why I didn't end up going with another Button Shy game, because it's the same kind of feel to it. But I wanted each game to be standalone, unique, that you could play in lots of different scenarios.
So what was your total price tag?
So I ended up at $197.42.
Under budget. Man, you guys are amazing. Amazing.
Did you somehow get it?
Did you hit exactly 200?
200 or
hey, we'll find out shortly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Let's
shortly's now. I want to hear.
All right. So obviously I've got a lot.
How much do you have left?
I have let's see. $99.97 left. You guys have any guesses on what my game could be?
I'm going to go
I want to say Anachrony, but I don't know that you can find it for that price.
The Infinity Box?
The Infinity Box, you can't find it.
No.
And the base box would be a lot less than that, so I don't think it's going to be that.
Yeah. So I wanted a campaign game.
Oh.
Right? I wanted something I could play solo, something that if I didn't have any games in my collection, something that I could get that I would, I only have 5 games. I'm going to play this for sure.
It's
right?
Arkham Horror, isn't it?
It is not Arkham Horror.
I thought you got a few expansions.
Yeah, with all these expansions. So no, I'm going to pick up Gloomhaven.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to get it from Game Nerds for $99.97. I have, you said Jaws of a Lion earlier. I've never played Gloomhaven, right? It was the number 1 game on Board Game Geek forever. Now it's dropped down to number 3, right? There's obviously a ton to explore in that game. You can play it for days and days. I could play it solo. I could play it with you guys. We only have 15 games in our collection at this point, so it's probably going to get played. It's probably going to get played, right?
Yeah.
It just seems like one that I could really dig into and play for forever.
Awesome.
That is a great
I did
choice.
not see that one coming from you.
didn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've never played it before.
I like it.
And I probably am never going to play it because it is a campaign game that has, how many? It's like 100 scenarios in that thing?
It's like 120 or
Is it 120?
I can't remember.
And you have to
but that's if you went back and played every single
one.
branch
They don't all play. You block off some of those scenarios as you play. So I've played through an entire campaign of Gloomhaven, and that's why it wouldn't have ended up on my list, is because I feel like I've played it. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't play it more, because there's absolutely, you're exactly right. There's plenty that you can explore, even if you finish that, and it's the only game in your collection for
a while,
years,
right?
Like you can
who
keep
knows
going
when
back to it.
I'm going to get another $200 to spend
exactly.
on games, right? So yeah, that's going to be my number. That's my 5th game that I choose, and that brings my total to $200 even.
Oh my gosh. Where did you buy it again?
With an estimated shipping for Tekenu of $13.28.
Oh, okay. Man.
So, shipping may have gone up or down. But
So we had really zero overlap.
yeah, 0. Did you guys have any good backups? Like if Gloomhaven was chosen by somebody, then my backup was Stars of Ikarios. I would have done that one, because that one's, you have that game.
I do.
You say you enjoy it. It's got a lot of mechanics that are interesting to me. Campaign style game that could be played, quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Right.
I had a whole backup list, but nothing was really new to me. Played most of them. Yeah, and there were games that I left off my list because they're available on Board Game Arena, right?
Yes.
The internet still exists in my hotel room.
Right. We still have computers.
As long as your phone wasn't in there, the house at the time.
But you got to replace the phone pretty quick.
Yeah. So I mean, that's going to get replaced.
Right.
Yeah. So I left off a number of games that could have been on my list because they're available on Board Game Arena.
Yeah.
I didn't have a big replacement one for Tricarion, because I was fairly confident nobody was going to take Tricarion, and that meant that was a huge portion. I had a lot of like backups for the little games and things like that here and there, but nothing that I was like, I need this or I want that.
See, I thought you both would be going for Anachrony.
I figured
I like
Kevin
the
would
direction
be.
you took with both of your lists.
Well, so I've been playing Anachrony on BGA.
Yep.
And I think I could probably get my Anachrony fixed there, even though the game is better on the table with the table presence and everything.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. If it's a game that I've played a lot on BGA, I'm probably not going to use it as one on my 5. Like Clans of Caledonia. That wasn't on your list.
Teo.
Teo. Yeah. We can.
Res Arcana.
Yeah.
Right. The one that I almost swapped was Orleans. I almost did that instead of Dune Imperium because I love that.
Yeah, but
the bag building aspect of that.
That's
game.
a great one.
Dan and Ben's house burned down as well?
Oh, we may have
situation.
Dan's close enough. I don't know that Ben is. He's separated by a freeway, so he was probably okay.
So that's what I'm saying is that some of these games are still potentially available. And we're
true.
Out at Ben's house.
We have other friends too. That's true. Yeah.
So should we go over our top 5s? So mine 5 to 1 was Don't Llama card game, number 5. Number 4, Acquire. Number 3, Dune Imperium. Number 2, Jaws of the Lion. Number 1, Cthulhu Death May Die.
So then for me, my 5 was Spicy, Sprawlopolis, Coup, Betrayal at House on the Hill, and Tricarian Legends of Illusion.
All right. So my number 5, Tekenu. Number 4, Unicorn Glitterluck.
I'm going to pass on that one.
That's fine. That's fine. If you had a 5-year-old girl, you may not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 3 is What the Heck. Number 2 is Welcome to the Moon. And number 1 is Gloomhaven.
So Welcome to the Moon was on my list, on my backup list.
Oh, was it?
And I was still considering it.
I got to say the What the Heck deal has got to be one of the best deals of all the ones that I
$5.77.
I don't know, like Jaws of the Lion,
that was pretty good.
No, that's absolutely
Tekenu,
good.
$20. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, shipping.
Well,
you got to add shipping in there. It's on the geek market.
Yeah, where does he live?
I don't know. I did not do that much research. But I thought, $13 for shipping is pretty fair.
Awesome. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I like doing our drafts. Even though there wasn't that much of an overlap there, it's still fun to hear
that pressure though. Like
the
every
reasoning
time.
and the pressure and the
I love the
excitement.
reasoning behind it. And I also like, hopefully, people will comment on the Discord whose list they think is the best. Right?
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear, man.
Mine, right? I mean,
a sparkle
unicorn glitter luck.
Okay.
Hey, you got to have a game for the kids, right?
Yeah, Don't Llama.
Yeah, well,
I think every time
Haba
these lists get voted on, you guys are like neck and neck. Nobody likes my lists, and I'm okay with that at this point.
You pull out the obscure ones a lot of times, which is fun.
Let's go with that nobody knows what the games are, so they don't want to vote on it. I'm happy with my collection. I would, if we were to have like a 5-game collection and this was it, I'd be satisfied with what I have.
Yeah, super excited about
feel like it's
my list
well-rounded.
and your list.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. Okay.
Well done.
Well, that wraps up the end of our. Oh, wait, we did this backwards, right?
Hey, let's talk about what we've been playing lately.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. So I've been playing quite a few games lately. One game that I'm super excited about talking about, I'm not going to talk about this episode. We've got an episode coming up.
Heck yeah.
We're going to talk about a little preview. We're going to talk about Undaunted and the series of Undaunted games. So I'm getting into one of those with Mark and having a blast with it. More to come on that one. I have been playing a few games with my family. And one of those is Ticket to Ride New York. So Ticket to Ride New York is a very slimmed down version of any like big box version of Ticket to Ride. There's a number of these. There's Ticket to Ride Amsterdam. There's Ticket to Ride. I can't remember the other ones, but they're really small boards. In the Ticket to Ride New York version, you have little taxi cabs instead of trains, which is kind of cool. It's Manhattan. It's got as far as the places that you're going to, it's all the big tourist destination spots, Empire State Building, Times Square, that kind of thing. The mechanics are pretty much the same as normal Ticket to Ride. You have 5 cards, taxi cards that you can choose from. You select 2 of those, or you claim a route with matching cards, or you can select more destination tickets. It's a really fast game. It plays, 10, 20 minutes at the most. The little twist to this one is there are tourist spots that have, it's like a 1 on them that's worth 1 point at the end of the game. So as long as you connect your taxi cabs to one of these tourist spots, you're going to get bonus points for, going to those locations. So you add up all the destination tickets that you've completed. You subtract all of those you haven't completed. You get points for the routes, just like in normal Ticket to Ride. Whoever has the most points wins. This is probably the best way to introduce somebody to Ticket to Ride. So I played with my 9-year-old. She'd never played Ticket to Ride before. I mean, she obviously picked up on it really quick. It's not a difficult game. She had a blast. She actually beat me because, like a chump, I didn't go to the last spot when I thought I did. But she had a blast, and she, the fact that she beat Dad, she thought that was great too. So that is Ticket to Ride New York.
I got a couple plays of this back in 2019.
Nice.
And I really enjoyed it. I also enjoy the Amsterdam one. That one takes place in like 17th century, which is really cool. So it's
cool.
Carts instead of cars or trains.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think the New York one, it looks kind of like it's like 70s maybe.
Yeah,
I think
I'm not sure the time frame, but yeah, I think so. I think so.
But they are a great way to introduce younger kids or new gamers to the Ticket to Ride experience.
Yeah, and there's actually my first Ticket to Ride.
That.
Yeah, out there. I've never played it, so I don't know how much it differs from normal Ticket to Ride. But
even you posted a picture of this, Kevin, on our Discord, and I ended up looking at it like at a glance and didn't look at it in detail. And I thought it was my first journey, my first Ticket to Ride, or whatever it's called.
Right. Yeah.
It's just at a glance because of the size of the board and the pieces that you're using. It's a little different. And so at first I was like, oh, that's really accessible, easy to kind of get to. But then somebody made a comment, and I'm blanking on who made a comment.
Yeah, I'm trying to look that up as well. It was it's Rob, PA Rob, on the Discord.
Yeah. So Rob on the Discord made a comment about that he said that it works just as well with kids, and that there's no reason really necessarily to get into this. And that made me really intrigued that I love, we've talked about Ticket to Ride before and how much we love it.
That's
and
great.
how good of a game it is that you can play and teach a lot of mechanics. I think that this is one that I would love to try and get exposure to.
You haven't played the smaller ones?
I haven't played any of the smaller ones. I've played Ticket to Ride Europe and I've played a couple of the other ones, but haven't played any of the smaller box ones. And if it's that accessible and exciting, you need to bring this out so that I can try it at some point.
It'll take about 10, 15 minutes. And I think where these originally came from, they would have demo copies of Ticket to Ride at conventions and other places that people could just quickly get in a game of Ticket to Ride. And then somebody had the great idea of, hey, let's just make this into games, right? Yeah. And sell them. And I think that was a genius idea, because it targets a different audience, right? Ticket to Ride isn't a complicated game at all. No. And it's not overly long, I don't think. You may be playing for an hour and a half, but this definitely targets a different group where...
No, but it's not a filler either, and this
this is an absolute filler.
No, I'm saying normal Ticket to Ride is not a filler.
Normal Ticket to Ride is not a filler.
Taking the Ticket to Ride experience and then putting it in a filler experience,
distilling it down to like a 15, 20-minute game is pretty smart.
A smaller box would be great for vacation when you're trying to pack in as many games as you can. So.
For sure. Yeah, so it's a good one if you like Ticket to Ride. If you want a shorter Ticket to Ride experience or something to play with your kids, then I would definitely check it out. So that's Ticket to Ride New York.
So As was mentioned last episode, I was out and unable to join due to
your kid was in the toilet.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe
it was projectile vomit.
Well, maybe he was in the toilet. I don't know.
He was in the bath. You were right. Yes, he was in the bath at the time. But the noise you heard in the background was not the bath. It was the sink where I was rinsing out vomit. So it was a bad experience.
It did sound a little chaotic.
Did he make it to the bathroom?
No.
Oh, man.
There's no excuse. I don't care how old you are. There's no excuse.
He was dead asleep, and he woke up, stood up, and then it was on the kitchen floor.
If you don't,
But kids are unpredictable.
If you don't make it to the bathroom, you clean up your own puke.
Yeah, Cade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've cleaned up Kate's puke.
I had
Yeah, right.
But if Logan didn't make it to the bathroom,
Okay,
you're cleaning up your own puke.
If you get to a certain age, then you're responsible for your own puke.
Make it to the freaking bathroom.
That's
Sorry.
or a garbage can. Some other.
Get off my lawn.
I think we hit a nerve.
I will say that I remember I had a really curmudgeonly grandpa growing up.
Was he cantankerous?
He was very cantankerous.
Word of the episode.
I was dead asleep and like woke up one night, like, and the way I woke up was I just started puking. So like, and I was so terrified of him because I puked all over myself and all over the floor. And I was so terrified of him. I didn't want to go and say, "Hey, I'm sick." I was like,
that's Tyler.
6 at the time.
You laid there in your puke all night?
No, I went and I snuck up to my grandma's side of the bed to try and not wake up my grandpa. It was bad. And so, like, if you're treating your kids like that, I'm concerned that they're going to have the same tragic, horrific PTSD.
They're going to go to mom. They're going to go to mom, not dad. That's for
exactly.
sure.
So you're saying I won't have to get up in the middle of the night and clean up puke if they go to
There's
mom?
a benefit here.
There's thought behind this. Yeah.
But so I wasn't available.
What game were you talking
what were
about?
we talking about?
We were talking about the fact that I wasn't on the podcast, but the episode I was going to talk about, or the game I was going to talk about, rather, last episode was Bitoku, because Tyler and I had gotten another play of this. And the reason I wanted to specifically talk about Bitoku, I know I've talked about this before. It's a game designed by German P. Milan and Xavi Bordes Imeric with a solo design from David Turchi. It's published by Devere Games. This is, and the art on here is beautiful, which is Edu Valls that does this. I went back and checked out the last time we talked about this, which we talked about it in episode 27, because it was on my top 30 list in our top 30 countdown. I rated this as 19, even though I had only played it the one time at the time. And so I wanted to revisit this simply because I had rated it so high because my experience was so impressive that first time, and I wanted to come back to it to see, okay, after having played it again, do I still think that this is going to kind of...
I'm on the edge of my seat.
I absolutely enjoyed this game. I think it's fantastic.
Oh.
I think that...
Rating going up, maybe?
No, I don't think it's going up. I mean, it's still
it belongs in your top 30.
It still belongs in my top 30.
Nice.
It's
not going down.
A great game. I want to play this game more. I love in this game that this is a dice action selection kind of a game, and I love that mechanic of you have dice with values on them, and those values, depending on what the values are, can be more or less powerful, allow you to do different things, and because of the values, you're going to use them in certain ways. I love that. But not only that, the game also has like additional actions. So essentially, you can take 6 to 9 actions in a round, essentially. And if you're optimizing that, you'll get the 9 actions out of it. But I also love the blocking in this game that can occur. Remember,
there was a lot less blocking
played,
this game without Kevin at the table.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
He was camping on the building one with a 6 for like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting part of the game, right?
Absolutely.
That's something that you can do. It's a strategic part of the game.
And there's interaction there, which is great.
I still think the blocking did occur to some extent in the game, because there was one point in which I think Tyler, you went and we played with Greg and Ben, and Greg went to the same spot with 6s, which means I had to find a 6 to be able to get there. I got a 6, but it changes up your strategy and your plans based off of what the values somebody else plays and when they play it in the turn order. I think the game has a lot of really fun decisions to make in it, and I'd love to play this more. And the fact I love the double layer main board.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you've mentioned this before,
right.
Tyler, that the potential there for expansion and additional content is off the charts.
Well, this just in, there's a new expansion coming that's going to come out Essen this year. So I'm
we
excited
may need to
about
go
that.
to Essen then. Right?
I was thinking next year. I don't know that I could swing this year.
Oh, okay. That's probably right.
Yeah. But a new expansion, new yokai, Iwakura rocks, and more surprises, 3 new modules.
I've got to play this one again. I wasn't able to play with you guys this last time.
But I think we need to play this
Did the
game
busy
more.
board almost make you want to vomit?
No. We were so
To bring it all back to vomit.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Wait it. That's an anti-transition, but I liked it.
Hey, I'm not good at these, okay?
No.
It was funny though, so Ben recently finished his basement, and he's ordered a very nice game table, but it hasn't come in yet. So we played on this little fold up card, really skinny,
long skinny
table,
card table,
and the board was on the edge,
almost
of the
hanging
table.
off of the
So
sides.
when the score track, when our tokens were coming around the score track on that side, on where Tyson and I were sitting, I was going out of my way to memorize where they were,
Right, because that would ruin the game.
I
in case somebody bumped up. I was
40, 37, 37, 28. 40, 37, 37, 28.
Yeah. Luckily, we never bumped it, but it was precarious to say the least. Yeah.
It added a new level of stress to the game.
Yeah, there was
wasn't
a
existing
dexterity
before.
factor there that we hadn't previously
Wow.
experienced.
This game is deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is deep, but it's actually again, it had been almost a year.
Yep.
And Greg gave a very brief overview of it, which was enough to, I feel get us back into it and learn the game really quick. The rules reteach was a lot less than the original teach, and it made it it wasn't bad.
And
the more games that I play, the more I appreciate that, because there are certain games where you have to completely do a reteach of the game if it's been a year after you played it. So the games where they're heavier games or a lot of strategy and you can get into them quickly even after a year that's a huge bonus for me, I think.
And that game, just once you get going, the flow of the round and the progression of your dice and your actions just is so smooth. I love that part about it.
You know what I don't love about the game? One of the things...
Losing?
No, I got the same exact score as last time.
Oh, you did?
So I don't love that. But
I was trying to talk trash, Tyson.
I know, but I'm about to talk trash too.
Jerk.
So
You're a jerk.
So I just passed up.
He just takes it.
Oh, you're going to make me spit my drink out into the bathroom.
Yeah. Of
course.
I did lose, Tyler, but the whole entire game, what was I hearing from my left? But, I suck at this game. This game, I'm so bad at this
Tyler's
game.
the
I'm never
master
going
of
to
this.
I'm never going to win this game.
I've
no
done that,
chance. And he handily beat it.
Oh, look, I won by 40.
Whatever. That never happens.
Yeah,
It did happen in this game. I will own up to that. I felt very bad about that when the final scores were revealed. I felt bad about that because the whole game I did feel like I was not playing optimally.
Yeah, but he was in first the whole game.
No,
Yeah,
I was
he was in first the whole game.
When I started memorizing scores at the bottom of the board, I was trailing by by that point. So by the midway,
by 3 points.
Yeah, 27, 24. Yeah.
You're not helping your argument.
No, I will own up to that. I felt bad about that. That I did say that a number of times. At first, I had just said it a couple times, and then I just kept saying it to be funny.
I agree.
But
it sounds like it was hilarious.
Seriously, you didn't do it seriously towards the end of the game when it was apparent that you were absolutely.
No, I didn't think I was going to win that. I thought Ben was going to win.
It was close. There was a lot of good point distribution actually.
Yeah.
I think throughout it, and which I can appreciate about a game that has so many different ways to score points, and yet everybody's scores in the end were pretty close.
And it's hard to know who really is in the lead because there's a lot of points that come from the rocks. And like Ben's got all of his rocks filled in, and I don't know I can't see his board and see how many points he's actually going to score. So I didn't think I was going to win. I'm sorry.
You just knew Tyson was going to lose.
No, I didn't even think that. I just thought Ben was going to take it and I was going to be in third or fourth.
He called me a loser in this episode. Yeah, that's multiple times.
Oh, man.
It is a fantastic game.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
I would love to see this more on the table if we can get to it. I think it's a great game, and I think it's worthy of being in my top 30. And
great production.
Excited to play it more.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So that is a Bitoku
from Devere Games, who is still knocking it out of the park. What do I want to talk about first?
Yet another Cthulhu Death May Die. This is the second reference in the episode.
Yeah, okay.
Which is fine.
Cthulhu Death May Die. We talk about the epic experiences, right?
Oh, yeah.
So my brother-in-law, Goob, and his friend Nick were here helping us out with some house remodeling projects for the weekend. They're not big gamers, but after a long Saturday of working on the house, we played with them and my wife and Logan. So we played Yog Sothoth, Season 2, Episode 1, which is the gangster one where you have to, or the mobster one, you have to get the mobsters on your side, bribing them with money to stop the ritual. We were not off to a great start. We were playing terribly. Yog Sothoth was added to the board, so we hadn't disrupted the ritual yet. Time is running out.
Couldn't do any damage to him yet.
And we've beat this scenario as a group, but this is like our fourth try as a family. So Nick sacrifices himself to clear a path so that I believe it was Goob or Logan could get to me and share his mobsters with me so that I could disrupt the ritual, right? So we're down to 4 people. I disrupt the ritual, so now we can do damage to Yog Sothoth. There's not much time left, though. You draw a card at the end of every player's turn if they don't die. And you flip over the card, and if there's a symbol on it, once you get 3 symbols, then the Elder God advances a space. So he needs 6 more symbols to advance 2 spaces, and then we lose. At this point, because of everything that's transpired, every monster and every cultist on the board is in the same room with Yog Sothoth. Logan sacrifices himself.
I feel like that's a theme with Logan in these
Well,
games.
I mean, he goes in and attacks, right? But he sacrifices himself, does damage. My wife, Shelly, also did the same thing. It's down to me and Goob. On my second to last turn, I went insane 3 times, which is incredible, right? So, but I'm also becoming more powerful and getting all these abilities.
How close are you at that point to full insanity?
Like the last 6 spaces to go or something. Yog Sothoth, he's advanced on the track. He's 1 card away at this point from advancing and defeating us, right? Goob on his last turn, he was already on the last stage. Goob goes in and does 5 damage. Okay, so he's got 7 left that I need to do on my turn. So Goob flips over the card and it doesn't have the symbol. So I get 1 more turn, right? And at this point, I'm powerful. I've got lots of dice, lots of abilities. I go in and then I had 2 attacks that I could do. The first attack, I needed to do 7 damage. I did 5 damage. And it was like, yeah, this is awesome, right? My second attack, I'm rolling 7 dice, 4 green, 3 black. On insanity symbols, I'm also successful, okay? I roll 7 dice, and I got 0 hits. Never happens.
Yeah, the odds are terrible that you would.
And Goob's like, right? You traitor, you're just trying to create podcast content. And it just, the room just erupts, right? And so from that point on, I recorded what happened. I'm going to play the audio.
Tyler.
Dude.
Take a picture of this dice. Are you kidding me right now? And he's the only one without arcane mastery.
Yeah. Everybody else has arcane mastery.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm just going to re-roll too.
I mean, that's our only... That's it.
Tyler.
That's it. We have nothing after this. Do you need new dice here? You want to swap some out? Yeah.
Good call, Nick. Good
Okay,
call.
here we go.
Oh my god.
All right. 2 black dice.
I can't even look.
I could get 4 success with these.
Don't say that out loud. What the hell are you doing?
Okay, here we go.
Tyler.
No! 2 blanks.
What?
That was 9 dice and 0.
so.
There's one blank and one arcade.
Rolled 9 dice and couldn't get 2 hits. I got 0. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
We flip over the card. It's a symbol. We lost.
I can't believe that.
I rolled 9 dice. I thought for sure we had it.
Blank and roll 9
believe
dice
that.
again.
And even the insanities give you success.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And like just soul crushing, but epic moment.
Yeah, it blows me away how many times stuff like that happens in this game.
Yeah.
It's just so well designed. It's crazy, you know?
Well, and it is consistent. We just had Carl from Purple Moose Plays in our Discord post that he purchased a copy of this after hearing positive reviews, and he found a copy that he did, and he read the rules. He ended up looking at it after reading the rules, and he was contemplating selling the game essentially because he was like, I don't think this is going to fit what I like, etc. And then he ends up playing it, and he gets those same types of moments that you've just essentially described here. And the fact that it's so consistent across the board is what's, I think, amazing about this game. And I love that other people are feeling that way and getting those experiences too, because I think this game is great, and it consistently, as you said, Kevin, delivers those experiences.
So my brother-in-law, Goob, he's like, you couldn't roll that if you tried 100 times in a row. You could not roll that again. And so I did. I rolled 9 dice 100 times, and I was 100 for 100 successful. I would have won, or we would have won.
So
right?
I used to hate dice in games. Like randomness was like, I don't want a random game. I want pure strategy, you know?
Right.
But as I've played more games, I appreciate the variability that comes from, you know, chance. It's from rolling dice.
It's how that injection of randomness is put into the game that makes it interesting. Because there are situations that it's not great, but it really does make exciting moments when you have it in there.
Oh, randomness just to be random is not necessarily
or
good.
Randomness in a Euro game, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. But I used to say like, Ameritrash, I hate Ameritrash. They're just dumb, you know? But as I play them more, because Cthulhu Death May Die is very much an Ameritrash style game, right? Yeah. It's a dice checker. And it is so exciting because you have experiences like that where like the improbable happens, and it can go the other way where you roll all hits, right? And you take out the elder one. And, you know, it's just that chance in games just makes for exciting stand-up moments, which is cool.
And I didn't really say this, but it was yet another game where it felt like we had no chance of winning. And then Goob flips over that card and it doesn't have the symbol, and I can attack, and all I have to do is 7 damage with, you know, essentially 18 dice.
With a wheelbarrow of dice.
Yeah. And then to lay that goose egg on that last roll, like, and then the 2 blanks on the rerolls, just that never happens. I mean, there's only 1 blank side on the 2 black dice, right? And the fact that I essentially rolled snake eyes with those 2 dice when I needed just 1 symbol that had, you know, a success or a madness. It was just crazy.
So I'm going to start a Dominion specific podcast. We talked about this last episode. Tyler clearly is going to choose a Cthulhu Death May Die specific. And you may think listening to this that this is a Cthulhu Death May Die podcast. We talk about it so much, but hey, maybe.
Hey, but with
Patreon
season
content,
3 and
right?
4 coming out, like there's a lot to talk about there. There's going to be lots of experiences.
We're going to get into Dominion territory for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So yet another amazing experience with Cthulhu Death May Die. Incredible.
All right. Next game I'm going to talk about it's a game that's been around since 2000. It is called Blokus. Something like that. I don't know.
I think it's Blokus.
Blokus. Consensus is Blokus. All right.
Well, I mean, to me, it makes sense where in the game, what you're trying to do is block people off.
Right.
You're blocking us off from what you're doing.
Okay. We're going to go with that. Blokus. This one's designed by Bernard Tevatian. And there's an artist referenced in this one as well, Alan D. Hoke.
What art is there in this game?
I just read this on BGG. And
I mean, there's a box cover.
Is it the graphic design
it's
of like
probably
the logo?
the graphic design. I don't know, but we're gonna
8-bit graphics.
We're gonna give him credit though, because I mean it's a looker for sure.
I mean, I appreciate giving people credit for the work they do in games. I think that's great. But
absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
That was unusual to me.
So I've talked about this one before, way back, I think in episode 0. We may have talked about it before, but this is one of the two first games that I bought. This was, there was Blokus and then there was Ingenious. My wife and I walked into a game store called the Game Crossing way back when. And the owner of the store was nice enough to sit us down and show us these amazing games that nobody had ever heard of before, right? And that was, one of those was Blokus. So I played this with my 9-year-old. The game is super easy. So there's a grid, and then there's 4 different colors and a bunch of these Tetris style pieces. So in a 2-player game, you select 2 of these colors and you alternate turns, playing one of your colors for each of your turns. So you start off in one of the corners and you place one of these pieces on the board, on the grid. And then it goes to the next player and you play all 4 colors, and then it goes back to the person who started. The main rule is when you place a piece, it can only touch the corner of one of your pieces. It can never touch one of the long sides with the long side of another piece. So you're building towards all of these colors into the middle of the board and trying to get all of your pieces played. If you don't get all of them played, so eventually you get to a point where there's just no available spots that you can play anymore. And once that happens, you can no longer play that color, and any leftover pieces that you have are going to be negative points based on how many segments are in each piece. So if it's a 4-piece segment, you lose -4 points. If you happen to get rid of all of your pieces, you get a bonus of 15 points. And then there's a 1 piece that's obviously the easiest to get out. If that's the last one you put down, you get a bonus of 5 points for doing that. Add up all the points. Whoever has the least amount of negative points is the one that's going to be the winner. Super easy game, but it's a lot of fun. There's strategy on where you're going to expand to. You want to leave spots open that you can put pieces there later. You can kind of jump through colors to get to places on the other side of the board. It's a lot of fun. And my daughter had a great time, like halfway through the game. She's like, this game is really fun, which is really cool. And I think we'll be playing it some more. So that's Blokus or Blokus, but we're going with Blokus.
It amazes me that like you're intentionally trying to block people out in this one and do stuff. And it doesn't feel mean because there are ways around those blocks. And I really like the decisions I have to make at times where when I'm making that block, I'm like, oh, this will be great. It'll mess them up. And then I realize, oh, I didn't look at that quite right. And they actually can get through independently. So I spent all that time and I used that specific piece because it fit just right. But it didn't work out the way I wanted to. Right. And now I'm regretting putting that piece down there because I could have put it over here to do different things. And the cost benefit of holding on to those bigger pieces for different things makes for some interesting choices throughout the game. I think this is a really well done abstract game.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I've played this one, but yeah, I have vague memories of playing Blokus, but I don't remember where or who with. So
yeah, I mean, it's been around for 23 years. So, you could have at some point. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good one. If you like abstracts, it's one that I think you should check out. I think it's a classic at this point for sure. So that is Blokus.
So the next game that I want to talk about is a game where you are doing a fair amount of blocking. In this game, though, you're using your walls to block off enemy troops trying to invade you. The game that I want to talk to you about is After the Empire. This is a game designed by Evan Halbert and Ryan Mauk. It is published by Gray Fox Games. And this is, I finally got my copy of this game from the second print run of the Kickstarter. And I was really excited to get this. I've played this game before, and I've even talked about this game a little bit on this podcast about a year ago. After playing that, I wanted to play this game more, so I purchased it, but it didn't come until just recently. This game, essentially what you're doing is this is a game in which these are medieval times.
This is medieval times!
And you're trying to build up your little fiefdom. You have castle pieces that are like these 3D pieces that are like beautiful, and they actually are very tactile when you put them on your board. They insert into your board, and you can have wood or stone pieces, and you're trying to build your walls and build turrets to be the most defensible. Each round, what's going to happen is that you are preparing your castle to be the most fortified that it can be, because at the end of every round, you have a siege phase where you have troops and enemies coming to try and take over. So essentially, it's a worker placement game that is combined with a tower defense kind of mechanism. And it's a competitive game, so everybody has their each individual kind of castle that they're trying to protect, and you're trying to gain the most points. Everybody gets gold as the point, and the most valuable kingdom is the one that wins at the end. But one of the interesting things is that the more gold you acquire throughout the game, the more likely people are going to want to attack you, and the harder it becomes to defend your territory, because they're trying to sack you and sack your area because it has the most gold. So they'll send more troops to your specific castle as opposed to anybody.
The game or the other players?
The game,
okay.
Yeah, which is kind of cool thematically, right?
Yeah.
And it creates, and I'm sure you'll talk about this, but it creates an interesting balance of, do you want to run up the gold? You're going to be a bigger target if you do, right? So it kind of is a catch-up mechanic.
The gold can be valuable because you can hire more mercenaries and you can hire more troops to be able to defend your keep. But if you have too much and you can't, then you're going to have some struggles. You have to, at the end of every round as well, you have to feed your troops. So if you don't have enough food, you have fields in your area, and if you have enemy troops in your fields, they'll raise your fields. So if you have that, you're going to have a lower supply of food to be able to feed your troops, which means that you're going to have to spend more gold to feed your troops. And it's this push-pull kind of mechanic that I think creates some really interesting decisions.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, with this game that we played, Kevin and I played that, and Mark played it, and each round, what essentially happens is you have a number of cards that are revealed to show where and how somebody is attacking. Each card has a direction on it to show that it's either going to attack you from the north, south, east, or west, but it's relative to where you're sitting on the table. So if I'm sitting facing north on the table and Kevin's opposite me facing south, it's going to, and the card says that it's attacking me from the north, it's going to be attacking Kevin from the south. So it's just relative to the position that you're sitting in that they're coming from, which makes it interesting because everybody is getting the same stuff, but they're going to be creating their defenses slightly different as a result of that. But every round you have one of those cards that is revealed so that you scout it and you can see what's coming up, but you can have up to 4 cards every round for that, and 3 of those are going to be blind potentially, so you don't know where you're going to be attacked from or how it's going to come,
which can cause havoc.
It can cause utter havoc.
Yeah,
because they can all come from the same direction, but you don't know that.
Oh, that never happens.
Never,
right?
never. It would never happen.
Oh my gosh.
In fact, this is like your Cthulhu Death May Die, where you have 9 dice that are all blank but this is all the guys are coming to the same wall.
All of a sudden, you have like 18 to 20 guys that are trying
on
to
the
sack.
low end.
Yeah,
because if you have low gold, that's like 18 to 20. But then if you have higher gold, you could have a lot more of that.
That happened to us.
3 times.
I think 3 times, where every single card was attacking us from the same direction.
Wow.
which means
which is completely random, right?
Obliterated.
You just get ran over and beaten. But
and you can't plan for that.
You can't.
Not that scenario. You can plan for other scenarios, but not that one where everybody's coming.
You're trying to distribute your forces and your defenses equally throughout the whole thing, But there are situations exactly
Where
like
some
that.
guy's taking a lunch break on the far wall while
Yeah.
the rest of the castle is getting sacked.
Watching everybody just getting run over.
Yeah.
This game was, compared to the last time I played it, was very punishing.
It was.
Like,
and it was a little bit deflating at times because you're like, again? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know?
But I thought about it. Like, after we played that game, I was thinking about this, and I'm going to make a comparison here that I think you guys are going to have comments about. I'm going to make a positive Pandemic comparison.
Okay.
So, you know how in Pandemic, it's a cooperative game, and you have those experiences where the cards just stack in your favor or against you, and
you can die really quick.
It's so fast, and it's like overwhelming, or Cthulhu Death May Die can be the same way, where it's just this overwhelming force of something that just is terrible happening. I feel like After the Empire can do the same thing, but the reason I think I like this in After the Empire is that where Cthulhu Death May Die and Pandemic are a cooperative game and you're together feeling that kind of pressure, you also feel that kind of collectively everybody's kind of miserable. Even though this is a competitive game, everybody is still trying to win it for themselves, but you're not playing against the other players. You're playing against the game itself and trying to come out on top with the terrible situation. So it's, how do I best survive this horrible situation? And can I do it a little bit better than Kevin? And
which you did.
I did.
You ended up winning.
I did.
Yeah.
Which barely though.
You barely won. And I was playing a rule wrong for a lot of the game. And I've thought about that a few times. Like, what if I was playing that right? You know, how would that have affected it?
Was it your food or your infirmary?
No, it's like the archers. When the archers attack, the guys on top, somehow I was getting rid of guys when I shouldn't have, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember for sure.
Yeah.
But it was kind of deflating when you would barely not get sacked and I would barely get sacked. I'm like, you know. It was still fun. It was fun. Yeah, it's a great game. I would definitely like to play it again. And it has some unique things. I've said this before, but games that introduce something that I've never seen before are really cool. And the fact that these cards are square cards and you shuffle them, but not only do you shuffle them, you turn the orientation of all these cards as well. And which is really kind of a cool, interesting concept. The one negative that I thought about this though is you can't sleeve these cards.
Oh,
right?
no.
You can't, because you can, but there's an orientation to a sleeve.
Oh, I see
right?
what you're saying.
So
because the open top end.
The open top end is going to be just completely.
But as long as it's not always north or.
Yeah, as long as you mix up the cards, you wouldn't know, right?
You can absolutely sleeve them. It would probably drive me nuts though, because if you pick up a deck of cards that the orientation is completely screwed up, you're gonna have cards falling out the bottom, right? Some of these sleeves, they could potentially fall out.
They got to be really snug sleeves.
They got to be snug sleeves, and you know, when you touch the card, you can kind of know where the top is. Well, not that it matters.
Maybe this is where you laminate it. You get a laminator and you just laminate the card, and hey, you don't need a sleeve anymore.
Okay, that's enough out of you.
Oh my gosh,
anti-sleever. No, that's such a minor nitpick, though. You know,
I don't know if this is in the just in the like upgraded version, but the tray and how the trays, how they're castle. Looking, that's just super cool.
No, those trays, those are the game trays that come with the Kickstarter. I think you could buy those independently, potentially from game trays. But yeah, that is part of the Kickstarter version, and it really is.
But just like the walls and the towers, like I want to like play this game, but then I also want to design my own game or. You know, play with my little guy with this, right?
Yeah,
like,
the toy factor is very high. The components are great.
Yeah,
it's really
looks cool,
really well done. Yeah.
I will say that Evan Halbert, the designer of this game, he's in our Discord. I've mentioned our Discord several times already this episode, but he's in our Discord, and he mentioned recently that he was just playtesting some stuff, and sounds like there's an expansion coming out for this soon at some point. And he was playtesting that expansion, and he had a similar experience where he just got run over. And it sounded like that wasn't a common thing where it happens every time. And the last time I played,
I don't know about that.
depends how well we shuffle, right?
Yeah, right.
And rotate.
Yeah, and rotate. Yeah. But I'm excited for more content for this. I really like playing it so far. I'd love to play this more. This is a game that I'm enjoying as well a lot of. It's after the Empire.
Yeah, so I'm sad I missed this one.
Yeah. Well, I'd happily play this game again.
Who else was it? Was you two and Mark?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Mark was the one we blamed for all the card draws.
Well, because he sat at the top.
Obviously, it was not his fault, but he was flipping over the cards. We're like, come on, Mark.
It really probably was my fault because I shuffled the cards.
I agree. It was your fault.
But the other thing that was interesting about that is we were telling Mark, you can flip them and flip them different ways. Instead of flipping every card the same direction, you could theoretically flip them different directions to kind of mix up and increase your chances of not having them there.
Tyson was giving a very good visual of that
He
as he was explaining.
For those of you who are only listening to our audio-only podcast.
Viewers will have seen that.
It's important that you understand that there are hand gestures going on.
Yes.
Right.
There's another game that I played that I'm excited to talk about, but I'm waiting until Kevin gets it played as well. That's the Star Wars, the deck building game. I'm excited about that. It's a fantastic experience playing that. Another deck builder that I got to the table was Thunderstone Quest. I got a couple plays into that. This episode's running a little long, so I think I'll maybe talk about that another time. Why don't we go into our lookbacks? A little over a year ago, we reviewed Aeon's End. That was all the way back in episode 9. I believe at the time I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yep, I gave it a 5.
Kevin gave it a 5. Ben this was an episode you weren't on, Tyson.
I think this was when I was playing After the Empire.
It
was. The country.
Yes.
It was. Yep.
It was. Ben only had one app play. He rated it based on what he thought the potential was. He said 4 out of 5. So just a look back at it. I haven't played it since then.
I played it recently, so I talked about it in the last episode. I've also got the app out, and I've been playing the app a little bit as well. And that's been a really fun, quick experience. That a lot of fun decisions, and it gives me the same feeling of kind of hopelessness, and then hopefully barely beating the game in the end. I mean, I've had quite a few games in the app that have done that. I love it. I think it's awesome. I've recently got Astro Knights, which is kind of a similar game. It's in the same vein. It streamlines a few things. Played that a few times, which is awesome. So this is still, for me, a solid 5. And I've got so much content that I'm just excited to play through. I've got both legacy versions and New Age and just all kinds of stuff. So
what is available on the app? As far as content?
I just have the base game. So I played Crooked Mask because we played the Crooked Mask and just got destroyed. So I'm like, I'm going to get the app out and see if I can beat him. And I beat him on the app. It's just the base game, but you can buy expansions. And I don't know how many expansions you can get.
Aeon's End, though, I mean, it's got that cool concept of how the order I play my cards in, that's how they're coming out.
You never shuffle your deck.
That is so unique.
Amazing. And the variable turn order.
So I think on that original episode, my comments were like, I really like this game. There's nothing that really bugs me about it. Like, it's a good game, but I don't love it, right? I've said and gave it a 4 out of 5. I haven't played it since. I have Outcast, but I haven't played that. I just got to say, it's still a 4 out of 5 for me. It's a fun game.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing's really changed. Right. So, yeah.
But is it one that you want to get off the shelf? Or
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I opened up Outcast and I was looking at it and I was like, this looks cool. And there's stuff to open up in packages inside that.
Oh my gosh. I saw that and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a mini campaign.
Right. Yeah. And we just haven't had the right opportunity as a family to play it.
Yeah. So. And what I love about this game and what I was reminded about is how different the Nemesis is for each play. If you switch out the Nemesis, it completely changes up how the game plays. Like Prince of Gluttons, he eats.
I love that name.
Yeah, he eats all the cards, and we played that recently and just got destroyed. Right? He's a glutton. He eats things, and the way that you play him is different than how you play the Crooked Mask, who has this deck of cards that whenever he activates, you get a nasty card in your deck, which is clogging it up, and you're doing crappy stuff. It's just different, and the cooperation in this game is really good as well. Everybody has a special ability, and you're talking constantly in the game. It's like, okay, I'm going to power up my ability, which is going to allow me to do this. Like, who gets this charge token? And I can give somebody a charge token. Like, who do we want? Whose ability do we want first? Oh, we don't have a whole lot of life, but this chick over here gives life. So, it's really heavy on the cooperation.
Yeah, that collaboration comes out.
It really does.
Really well in the game.
Yeah. So, I love it. I'm excited to play some more.
Cool. So that was Aeon's End. Also, a little bit further back from that, in episode 7, we reviewed Anachrony. We did a full-on feature review of that.
Game sucks.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It's the worst.
We all rated it 5s.
Yep.
I didn't even bother going back to look because I know it's both of your number 1 games of all time.
Yep. It's a good one.
As of last fall. So
as of last fall when we recorded, and I don't think much has changed in regards to where it stands. I just looked and saw the last time I physically played it on the table, and it was around the time that we recorded this episode last year. But we have since been able to get this game on BGA to play it online. I know, Kevin, you already mentioned that in this episode already, but
it's in alpha still, or is it beta?
I think it's beta.
Okay.
I think.
If it's not available yet on beta, it will be soon, I would think.
And if it is still an alpha and you want to play it, we all have alpha access and would happily start this game with anybody who's interested. But that's one of the great things about this, I think, that I love, is that I've been able to play this on the app. And it does take away on the app or on BGA. It does take away some of what I like about it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I get my fix in of Anachrony is really great about it. We started a game, Kevin, recently with some random person, and then they bailed. And I was super disappointed about that
because we'd chosen our starting guys, and
I was like, oh, this is great. And then I started playing, and I was like, well, I'm going to play it anyway, even though this guy bailed. And then I realized that you had bailed on it as well, and I was like, oh,
well.
At that point, I mean,
yeah.
I always bail if somebody bails or gets forced out, right?
Yeah, because
I usually do. There's been occasions where I haven't, but I love this game, and I will happily play it in any way I can get it. The one thing I wish that BGA had was some of the expansion content.
Yeah. That's what I want to explore. It's expansion.
Because exactly, that's what I want to explore more.
I said at the time when we recorded the episode, we had just played Future Imperfect, all of the modules from Future Imperfect. And I said that was like one of the most fun board gaming experiences I've had in I don't know how long. This game is ridiculous. I agree with you a little bit. Like on Board Game Arena, I think it loses a little bit, but the fact that it's available there is awesome. And if they add more expansions, that's fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, the table presence of this game is just off the charts, especially with the big infinity box and
the biosuits or
they're not mechs. I always call them exosuits.
Exosuits.
Yeah. And the fact that you slot the workers into the exosuits is crazy. Yeah. But I agree. You get your fix on BGA, and it's awesome. I love it. I love how the workers are different. They specialize in different things. You get bonuses, or some of them can't go places. Trying to maximize your evacuation bonus, and there's just a lot to love about this game.
Which in the last game that I was in, like the first available chance that I could evacuate, I was like, peace out.
I noticed that.
Yeah. I didn't see myself being able to get any more points for the condition that I had. So
you were the last one, I think, Kevin.
I got the -3.
You got the -3.
I was trying to get the stupid neutronium to maximize my, my evacuation bonus. I couldn't get neutronium,
and I noticed that, and I was like, I could try and get one more, or I could just make sure to stick Kevin with those -3 points, and that might make up that little difference for me, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's interesting decisions. In that game, I kept an anomaly on my board because it gave me the +3 at the end.
I did as well.
And I wonder if we tied for that then. But I was looking at everybody's board and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get the end of game bonus even though I'm getting -3 here, which is going to prevent somebody from getting it, somebody else from getting it.
I had a building that gave me points for having some of those symbols. So it wasn't the same as yours, I guess.
Got it. But there's all kinds of things. And the engine building, there's engine building based on the buildings that you get and how you can maximize those. And then you're looking at the victory points to see how much points they're going to get you. And that's a decision to make. There's just all kinds of stuff going on, even in the base game. And that gets ratcheted up to 11 if you add expansions. You know,
yeah.
Which is crazy.
I will say on Board Game Arena, it is nice to be able to see everything that's available to you because this is a table hog. And there's times, depending on where you're sitting, it's like, I don't want to give away what I'm looking at, but I can't really see what that is, right?
What's this super project? What do I need for that?
Yeah.
And it is nice to see all of your options available because in Board Game Arena, it'll highlight the specific areas you can or can't go. And it makes it easy to realize certain things. And it really, like waking up your workers, which is, I love that mechanic in general in this game.
You can be mean about it or
nice. Wake them up, force them awake, or gentle and kindly wake them up with some water. I love that. But like,
yeah, here's some water.
It made me realize, I'm short this thing to kindly, gently wake somebody awake, and you have to force them awake sometimes.
Which is interesting because that's always a free action, right?
Yep.
So sometimes you're like, okay, I need a worker. I'm going to wake them up the mean way because I want to take this action and block somebody else from getting it. So that's another decision to make.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even though you're potentially losing victory points, you are losing victory points.
You go down on the track, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to like about this one.
It's a phenomenal game.
Still a 5 for me.
We still need to get the last expansion out and get that played on the table.
That one looks amazing. You can blink.
Fractures of Time.
Yeah, you can blink. So you're in one spot, you blink to another spot, which is cool, right? But then it opens up that spot again for somebody else to take. You know, I've watched some videos on it and it looks amazing.
We need to get that played.
Yeah, for sure.
It's still 5 for me. This is Mind Clash's best game that I've played. I haven't played Tricarion, so
I would agree with that.
Ooh, yeah. So Perseverance. You mentioned.
I didn't
you
mention. I didn't.
You did. Oh,
No,
you alluded to it.
I said
very
episode
strongly.
2 has potential
to be better
amazing.
than Anachrony.
To be amazing.
It has potential to maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
And then
I didn't say anything after
right.
that.
You knew what you meant.
You filled in what you wanted to hear.
Okay.
I listened to that episode. I wasn't recording it. And what I recall is that you did allude to the fact that you think Perseverance has the chance to be better than Anachrony.
Which I think no chance of
I agree. I remember playing Perseverance. And now I didn't get to play any of episode 2, which you are the one saying is the better one, both of you.
And it clearly is.
So take that for what it's worth. But I remember playing episode 1 and I really enjoyed it. But I also remember thinking I could also play Anachrony and be just fine playing that instead of this.
Yeah. There's some similarities there for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, Anachrony is the best Mind Clash game that I've ever played. So
yeah, agreed. It's a great one. Should we jump into what we're excited about?
Yeah.
What are you guys excited about?
I was excited about Bitoku expansion, but I already mentioned that. So
I wondered if that was going to be what you mentioned in the excited part, but I know we buried the lead a little bit there. One that we've definitely talked about a lot that I'm excited about is a game that I finally received after 2.5 years. I received my copy of Darwin's Journey.
I don't believe it. Until I see it in your hands.
Prove it.
Yeah,
I actually opened it, sorted it. I played a solo version of this game.
playing
miracles do happen.
We're playing it on Saturday.
Awesome.
I'm excited. It is.
The Avs don't play on Saturday. What do you got going on?
Family's coming into town.
Oh, nice.
And daughters have some stuff going on that weekend as well. So, well, I won't be joining you on Saturday, but
we'll get this played.
We'll get it.
We'll get this played because I am as excited as I was when I backed this game. Now that it's in my hands and playing this game and seeing it, I've been on forums reading all the rules errata. I've been looking at the extra content for it. I have everything in this game. I got the collector's edition. The only thing I didn't get was there's a Falmouth mini expansion.
Of what?
It's called a Falmouth.
Oh, okay. Falmouth.
Talking with
Falmouth Port. Yeah. Mini expansion. And there's so many mini expansions. This reminds me a little bit of Anachrony, actually, in a lot of ways, because
modules,
there's
type of thing.
modules, things that you can pull in, put out that are really cool. You can add animal companions, or you can pull in a great ship expansion. You can flip it over the board to have a different experience with time involved in it. I like this, and there's so much to explore. I'm excited to get into this game and really understand more of it, and I'm excited for you guys to get a chance after all of these years to actually see this game and try it.
Nice.
Yeah, I really hope it doesn't suck.
After
Me
all
too.
these years.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it hasn't for me, but I hope your perception is it doesn't suck.
I'm
No, it sounds
excited to ride the Beagle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not actually riding the Beagle. Your ship is trying to catch up to the Beagle in this. So each of you have an individual ship that you're trying to catch up with, which actually does a really interesting mechanic where, like Terra Mystica style, where each round you have bonuses that you're trying to go after. But if you're too far behind, you're lagging behind the Beagle too far, your bonuses are reduced and you can't get them. So you have to stay up with the Beagle.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited to play on Saturday. I need to find a video just so I have a little bit more awareness before I show up.
I the more I've played it, the more I think that this game is pretty straightforward and easy to teach. It's a worker placement game, but I do have a video that I'll send so that you can take a look at that.
Nice. Kevin, what are you excited about?
So, decided to go to GenCon this year.
Hey!
Whoa. Yeah. So, that's going to be good. Tyler's going, Ben's going, Greg's going, the four of us. Never been before.
It's going to be awesome.
So it's going to be quite the spectacle, I think. I'm excited. Origins was my first big game convention. I'd gone to some smaller ones, but Origins was the first big one last year, and that was awesome. It was just a lot of fun. So I think GenCon is even bigger.
Yeah.
More new games announced, more new games played. I'll be
more
running
available
to the Arnak expansion to get the Arnak expansion.
I thought I was picking up a copy of Origins if it's available.
Oh, I don't know when it's available. Is it available at Origins or is it GenCon?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Either way, you'll have an opportunity to get it, I think.
That's right.
Unless Tyler doesn't get it for you at Origins.
Yeah. I did see that the Disney Lorcana game, I think that will be available in limited supply at GenCon.
I've heard some grumblings about the initial rule set that was released.
Ooh, negative.
Some disappointment there a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's been all kinds of, LCGs or CCGs that have come out and flamed out quick. This one has the backing of Disney, though. So you would think it may have some staying power. But if the gameplay is terrible, then
you can't say that around Tyler. It's got the backing of Disney. Does not hold a lot of weight with Tyler at this point.
Yeah, right. Mandalorian season 3.
He hates Little Mermaid and
anything Star Wars related.
I don't know if there's going to be a lot of Star Wars in this one. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited for some GenCon this year.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah. I'm excited. Can't wait.
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out very soon after the release of this episode.
Nice.
It's the last hurrah for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think.
For the whole universe.
Well,
for Tyler.
For Tyler.
Until they, it is. I mean, what are you guys excited about Marvel otherwise?
Yeah, I choose to hope that there is going
they're
to
gonna
be more good
giant
movies to
U-turn.
come. Yeah, why not? Yeah. I'm a half
full kind of guy.
Kind of guy.
I love both of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I cannot wait for this one. So it's going to be awesome, I think.
Agreed. I think it should be good.
Super Mario Bros.
Heck yeah, that movie was great.
It was great.
I haven't seen it. I've heard good things.
It was it wasn't 2-3 hours long. It was fantastic. It was great.
Nostalgic for the parents that grew up playing Mario Brothers. And
I love
good for
Chris
the kids.
Pratt, but his voice as Mario in all the trailers I've seen, I just can't get on board. Like it
Didn't
seems
even
weird
ever
to
cross
me.
my mind.
It didn't. I love Jack Black as Bowser.
Yeah. The only one that I didn't like as much was Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that was also weird. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was great.
It was really
The
good.
D&D movie was good.
Have not seen that, but I want to see it.
It was entertaining and funny.
I did get the popcorn bucket. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen your
It's
new
a-
popcorn.
it's a
bucket, no.
D20.
It's a D20 that you put popcorn in. What's not to like? That's
awesome.
It's actually amazing.
Logan got one of those for his birthday, and it's really cool.
Sitting proudly in my game room at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This was our Burn Baby Burn episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Hopefully-
did things in reverse. That was weird.
Yeah,
I
that
liked
was
it.
different. Yeah.
I mean, we like to switch it up here.
Yeah,
every
we're
once in a while.
flexible.
We are, yeah.
As in, like,
Not literally,
Tyler
but-
drops that on us as we're recording.
Yeah, that was fantastic, right?
It worked.
Yeah, I think, we roll with the punches.
I mean, I can swap it back and
Exactly.
post edit. So
I know. I
don't know
if
why you
do
would.
that.
No,
but-
yeah.
I think it was perfect the way
Okay,
it is.
okay,
right?
cool.
I mean, hopefully none of our listeners ever have this situation arise. I mean, this is a sad topic to talk about. Like, our games burning? This is terrible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope that if any of you had this happen and you had no means by which to do this, I would get you some of those games that you want on your list.
Or
so that
donate
you don't
some of
have to
yours.
stick to a $200 limit. Or donate some of mine so that you have a collection.
Wait. You have games? I don't think that's ever getting old. So you listeners may or may not have heard of a site called Buy Me a Coffee. This is just a way that you can support us as a podcast by giving a small donation. The donations will be in the form of little wooden eggs. Right?
Why is that, Kevin?
Well, if you're a longtime listener to the show, you'll understand that reference. For those that are maybe new, it goes way back to I think
episode 2.
It's like
That was
episode
one
2.
of the first episodes, yeah.
Right. Do a brief recap of what this story is, right? So we were down preparing for our episode. It was we're going to review Praga Kaput Regni by Vladimir Suchy. And in this game, there are really nice components, I would think.
Oh, they're fantastic.
They are. And one of these components are little wooden eggs. And thematically, eggs were used to build this bridge in Praga.
in lore, apparently.
Yeah. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but it, at least that's what people say is, the eggs were used to kind of as a binder or something to keep the bridge together. Doesn't seem too
like
safe to me, but
The plaster or cement or whatever.
whatever. So these eggs were kind of sitting, everybody has eggs that they can get.
Very similar shape to peanut M&Ms.
Peanut M&Ms or even closer to almond M&Ms or, something like that.
One might say that these pieces are like eye candy, in fact, because of how good they look.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're playing the game. I happened to look over at Tyler and he has this look on his face of sheer terror. I mean, I don't know what was going on. And then he proceeds to pull out.
I didn't put it all the way in my mouth.
He reaches
I love
back.
how the story changes.
No, he was like digging it out of his throat. There's teeth marks everywhere. in this
Mama
egg.
burning it out of his throat.
Yeah, right. It comes shooting out of his mouth. No, it didn't come shooting out. But anyway, it did enter his mouth. He did bite down on the egg. It was
never fully enclosed in my mouth.
There were slight teeth marks.
No, there weren't. And I took it home and I swapped it out for one of my eggs. So
Right. And so everything was fine. Since then, we've been trying to keep game pieces out of Tyler's mouth for months.
I sold that.
Going on years now, really.
I got rid of that copy in the math trade. So somebody's got that copy with that egg.
Thoroughly cleaned.
Yeah.
Thoroughly cleaned.
Yes.
So a way to donate to us is buying Tyler some eggs so we can feed his insatiable appetite for game pieces.
Yeah.
Birds.
So you go buymeacoffee.com, the longest turn.
Yep.
If you just want to support us,
Yeah. Well,
however little or not at all, this is an opportunity to do it.
So I mean, there's fees that we have every month, and it would be great if somebody if they have the means, just if you enjoy the show, we'd appreciate anything that we can get. And this is a way for you guys to support us if you feel the need.
We love doing this, and if you love hearing us, we'd love hearing your feedback, and that can come in the way of comments or contributions, and we'd love hearing your experiences with our podcast. We've gotten that through the Discord and other means somehow, so we love doing this, and yeah.
Yep, and there's one-time donations as well as subscriptions if you want to do it that way as well. So check out that site, Buy Me a Coffee. It'll be link will be in the show notes, and we would appreciate anything anybody could give.
Thank you.
Yeah, and as always, thanks.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Longest Turn Board Gaming Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you want more Longest Turn in your life, please check us out on Instagram. Also, be sure to check us out on Board Game Geek, where you can join our guild 3947, and check out our blog, where we post all our show notes and occasionally post more detailed reviews. If that's not enough for you, we have a Discord server. If you want to play a game with us on Board Game Arena, join our Board Game Arena group, The Longest Turn. Until next time, thanks for listening.
Tot ziens.
Goodbye.
See you later.
Burn, baby, burn. And we could have the intro music be
Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno.
That's not what I was thinking of, but that's amazing.
That's not bad. Yeah.
You want to pass some of them around, or
We're each rolling a die? I don't know what you.
Yeah,
I don't know what your
format.
let's do 2 dice each.
This is really well prepared.
18 dice. We're gonna roll 18 dice. I don't know what is happening.
As we just talked about a bunch of movies.
Well,
And puking for 20 minutes.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, some of that may need to get
Yes.
There's gonna be some editing on this one for sure.
Yeah. If Logue would have gone insane, he would have done 2 damage
This
to him.
isn't my fault. You couldn't do that again if you tried 100 times.
Nope. Yeah.
Amazing.
As soon as we flipped that card, I was like, oh, we won.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So
Sorry. I thought it was coming.
I've got water.
do you realize that when you open a drink, it is noisy? All right.
You didn't even hear it.
I did hear it.